One day she decided to bury her history so she could take control of her destiny. That single mom of six will be me, Christeria Lynn. Now I can stand here and tell you how I was abandoned by my father, molested by my stepfather, kidnapped and raped by someone I would call a friend, mentally and physically abused by someone I said I do to, but I wouldn't want to bore you. But what I would like to share with you is not in spite of all the pain and unfortunate circumstances, but because of all the pain and unfortunate circumstances, that I became fueled to move forward. So fueled that I realized that nothing has meaning except for meaning you give it. So I took the meaning out of my pain and put meaning on my purpose. See, I knew my destiny was proportionally associated with my risk. And at that point in my life, I was willing to risk it all, and I did. So much so that I kicked my abusive husband out of the house, leaving me with no job, no car, no money, no way to provide for me and my 5 children with one on the way. I became desperate, so desperate that I knew I had to turn that form of desperation into destiny. And guess what? I did. I will first take a job at Procter & Gamble working in logistics, only to love the job but hate the freedom that came with the jobs. 6 months later, I will get an epiphany from God telling me to create something that I can call my own, and guess what? I did.
Yeah, that's right.
My life started to change when my perspective about my life changed. I would take $2,000 from my income tax check and turn it into an award-winning 6-figure cleaning business. That business will give me the platform and the voice that I've always desired to have and be heard. My voice will soon project my vision, lead to my destiny, create a legacy, and the trajectory of my future. So much of my history was masked by my insecurities and pain that I needed my destiny to be a naked reflection of strength, courage, transparency, and truth. My goal in life was never to just become successful. My goal was to build a legacy for my children and my community. When I think of legacy, I think of having impact, not just influence. Being diverse, distinguished, and making the difference. Leaving behind what you've learned and earned for the generations to come. Legacy is waking up every day and not being afraid to build that dream you had yesterday or 10 years ago. It's not being afraid to walk in purpose and on purpose. Legacy is planting seeds that you may never get to see grow. Legacy is every life you've ever touched. When someone says that I did not give up because of you, or I fought harder because of you, not only have you had an impact, but you left a piece of you with them. Today, I am not only grateful, I am beyond blessed. It's funny, what appears to be our greatest losses turns out to be our biggest blessings. I wouldn't be who I am without my story. Today, I win, not my past, because I am doing what I've always dreamed of doing, and I'm helping women in the process. My voice has reached thousands, and my story has impacted hundreds. On this day, I rejoice and I celebrate each and every one of you. Many of us have lost loved ones we can never get back. Been abused or mistreated in ways that's too painful to explain. Lost jobs we've always dreamed of having. Got divorces from someone we once loved. And been adopted by someone who doesn't have your DNA. Fought cancer and illnesses that you're still here and still standing to talk about. And I say, no matter the pain or the depth of your problem, just know you have the victory and the power to control your destiny. As I look around this room, I see many different types of faces, many different types of women that's present today. We all have different walks and we all have different journeys. But the one thing that remains constant is that even in our differences, we are all destined to become and do something great. One woman can create a force, but together as women, we create a movement. As women, we stand tall and we stand confident, not in front of one another, not in back of one another, but beside each other for the generations to come. We are all leaders and we are all great. And today, I leave you that your history becomes your story as long as you're brave enough to write it. Your pain becomes your purpose as long as you're willing to change your perspective. Your desperation or your destitute becomes your destiny as long as you have the courage to chase it. What you build today becomes your legacy for tomorrow. I thank you for your time. I'm Christina Lynn from Denver.